Welcome back. Time now to delve into some international two-wheeled news, and as always seems to be the case these days, it's the electric stuff that's dominating the headlines. I rode the CE04 scooter from BMW on the show last week, and I have to admit it really impressed me. I could definitely see it being the scooter of choice for city dwellers if, and it's a fairly big if, you're loaded. Yeah, that's the downside of these electric products at the moment. They're still very expensive compared to their petrol-powered equivalents. However, there's plenty of people in this world who won't be put off by the price, so more power to them. Actually, more range to them. That's the other bugbear, isn't it? Though in the BMW's case, at 130 kilometres or nearer 100 kilometres if you ride it properly, it's still enough for most urban needs. It's when you start looking at electric as a replacement for touring or sport bikes that the range and recharging times are still too restrictive. And until we see some serious improvement in battery technology, I think if you want to do some touring, you'll be using petrol for quite a few years yet. Anyway, tangent aside, electric two-wheelers are viable right now for city transport, and so the news that's caught my attention this week concerns some other recent electric scooter models. The CE04 is a 400cc equivalent scooter, so let's take a look at a new offering from a Spanish manufacturer that has a 125cc equivalent. You might think that Ray's 7.7, as it's called, is a bit small, but looking at its performance figures, I'd have to say it's got more than enough zip for most commuters. We're looking at a top speed of 125 k's an hour, the same as the BM really, and a range based on mixed riding conditions that is supposedly 150 kilometres. That's obviously going to be mixed riding of gentlish types of riding, so just like I found with the BMW, if you ride it hard most of the time, which being bikers you will, you'll probably have to knock at least 20 or maybe even 30% off that number. But it's still very much the sort of range that makes it a viable city tool. The onboard charger that comes as standard means you'll be able to recharge this 23 horsepower equivalent scooter from empty to completely full in 4 hours and 20 minutes from a standard wall socket. But like the CE04, if you're willing to spend nearly another €1,000 or 18,000 Rand, you can get a fast charger that will reduce that time pretty significantly. The seat is adjustable for height, there's 3 riding modes and a reverse gear and a fancy 5-inch TFT screen and a USB charger, all of which point to this being a premium product, a fact that's backed up by the nearly €10,000 or 170,000 Rand asking price. That's only a couple of €1,000 cheaper than the base BMW price, so the CE04 starts to look like it's actually not too horrendously expensive after all. Another startup is getting into the electric scooter game, and this is one that comes from the UK, and just for comparison they have an electric city scooter that goes for about 135,000 Rand. The Zap i300 is definitely more interesting to look at than the usual scooter models, and it promises a bit more performance than some of the smaller ones as well. The electricity in this one promises a 0 to 50 km/h time of under 2.2 seconds. And 100 km/h will come up in under 5 seconds. Respectable numbers for such a little scooter. What's less impressive is a range of just 60 kilometres, though recharging from 20 to 80% takes just 30 minutes. And the battery is removable, so you can take it with you to charge, or you could swap it out for another one that perhaps you've brought with you. Though I'm not sure how portable that will be. I have a 2.4 kilowatt-hour battery for charging computers and cameras here in my van, and it weighs 25 kilograms. It's only portable for a few meters at a time before I need a lie down and an energy drink. Taking this news thread of mine one step further, okay, quite a few steps further, I'm using this extremely tenuous link to end this week's programme with a quick look at a couple of innovative new products that are actually getting perilously close to becoming real-life products that you can buy and use, and quite probably, just like all extremely enjoyable adrenaline-filled pastimes, hurt yourself in a wide array of impressive new ways. They may not be actual motorbikes in any way, because they don't actually have 2 wheels, or any wheels for that matter. But something about them suggests they may be the motorbikes of the future. Fast, nimble, exhilarating, time-saving, dangerous. I'm talking about one-man flying things. The one that most resembles a bike, at least in terms of the ergonomics, which means it should feel from the seat like you're on a superbike, is the Mayman Speeder P2. A superbike that takes off vertically thanks to 4 pairs of small jet turbines that can then fly you at a maximum speed of about 240 km an hour or so for about 30 minutes. It will obviously not be quiet. It will not be safe, even though onboard computer systems will help out with the flying until you can return to Earth in a non-lethal fashion, apparently. Testing with a pilot rather than the current remote stuff that's been going on for now, that will begin by the end of the year. Even if it's brilliant though, you can bet there'll be years of bureaucratic hurdles to jump before this is ever available to individuals as a viable means of transport or just for having some fun. And it's not going to be cheap, is it? A little more realistically, you can put your 300,000 Rand deposit down for one now to be delivered next year is the Jetson 1. This doesn't use jet turbines but Tesla batteries to power its 4 propellers, and so it is effectively a large drone big enough for one adrenaline junkie. Your 1.4 million Rand buys you a vehicle that will fly for 20 minutes, and it's designed not to revolutionise personal transport, at least not yet, but rather to give you an enormous dose of adrenaline while showing off to your mates. Pretty much the exact same description I'd apply to any of the many 1.4 million Rand special edition superbikes I've seen over the past few years. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that look at what's headed our way from little electric scooters to crazy jet-powered superbikes of the air. If you didn't enjoy this glimpse of the future and think I should rather have used the time to tell you how to do something useful like oiling and adjusting the chain on your bike, sorry, wrong programme, wrong journalist, but please join us again next week for another episode of The Bike Show that I promise you will have only 2 wheels, though occasionally only one of them will be on the ground. See you then.